viewers, and this is the third episode of the My Leader TV show, and with you here is Alphonse Juma. So before we get started, I would like you to just click the like button so that you're able to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is My Leader Kenya TV channel, so that you are able to always get different updates that we get you concerning the elected leaders and all the leaders, those that you voted and those that are controlling, that are leading you and me. So today is going to be a very interesting discussion, and with me here is a very key person. And just to wrap up, just to let you know what exactly this program is about, here we interview and we talk about the scorecards of the elected leaders. That is, since they were elected, what have they done? And this is both to the elected leaders and the others. And this entails the governor, the senator, the women rep, the MP, the MCA, and apart from that, also the president and the deputy president. We also do this for the cabinet secretaries and the ambassadors. How about those who have plans for vying in future? We also do that, and we call you on our platform, the prospects. And straight to the point, we have here today Sarah Serem, who is the ambassador to China. So how are you this morning?
I'm doing great.
Yes. So it's really great to get you. I know your schedules are always very tight. And Sarah, how does it look like? How does your day normally look like?
Well, for now, I don't have a really very structured schedule.
Yes.
Considering that I'm not on a formal employment as yet.
Yes.
Because I am on transition.
Oh, great.
And transition is preparing that which will shift to China. I have quite a big of staff that need to be sorted out. And so this is what I've been doing in the last talk of 2 weeks, clearing and forwarding. And
that includes also packing your things.
Oh, that actually forms the major core activity.
How does it look like?
It's just overwhelming. This is a home I have lived for many years. And so there's so much stuff that has been packed over the years. You know? And it's been a question of sorting out what do I need to retain in my home in Nairobi?
Yes.
What do I need to carry to China? What do I need to transport to my rural home?
Yes.
So that in itself has been quite an engagement. Of course, besides that, I have had to also meet officers of the foreign affairs.
Great.
Because there's a whole host of preparation, expectations and planning. I have had times to meet with the Chinese embassy, the officers there. They have attended ceremonies at the embassy. That is between China and Kenya. And quite a bit of some celebrations around.
Interesting.
So it's really been a busy time for me, but exciting.
Living is just a day's thing or just some hours, you told me.
I'm not going there for a month or two. It's a whole 4 years, probably. And that means relocation. And relocation means you have things that are core to you, very close to you, that you need to walk around with. There's stuff because it means also changing whoever will be staying in my house in Nairobi. So it's a whole of an activity.
Great. That's very interesting. And at this point, we just want to learn about your background.
You know, the value systems are concerned. And so we grew up literally having a very defined kind of background. And spending much of our time also worshiping and being in church. So that those are some of the values that I have carried over time. In my entire life up till this day at my age. I joined, I probably will not talk much of the basic education, but after my high school in Kipsigis Girls, I joined the University of Nairobi way back in 1978. So that kind of gives you an indication of how old I've been in this world. I am sure majority of you may not have been born then. And I went through my initial degree course, focusing mainly on social sciences, because I am a social scientist. I relate. I am a people person. So anything that took me towards, enhancing my talent of relating with people is what I took. So I did social sciences and political science for the 4-year program at the university. And thereafter, I joined the Kenya Post and Telecommunication, which was the employer of choice then. If you all remember, that was a very strong institution.
Yes.
In the early 80s, later into the 90s. And that is where I started off my career in human resource. We were calling it personnel management. Personnel management then was just simply maintaining the people within an institution. That is hiring, with their welfare, their promotions, their discipline, and the exit. So that's what I did for about 8-9 years within Kenya Post and Telecommunication before I moved up the ladder to Postbank.
Yes.
Postbank is where I spend the greater part of my time. I would say I brought up my children while in Postbank. I grew up in Postbank, having joined in the middle level of the management team in human resource department and rising through the ladders to become the overall director of human resource Postbank. So I would say in Postbank I grew,
Yes.
not just in age, but also in career, in experience, because I went through the entire cross-breed of the human resource management systems, converting what was traditional Postbank into a modern banking then.
And as you are looking at the pictures, I've seen a lot of like issues or things related to your family. Maybe just tell us about your family.
The whole purpose and reason why we all run around is because we want to give our families the best. I have had a very exciting family life. I was married to, I would say, a general in my life, because this was a military man that served initially as a jet pilot. I don't know whether that was part of what attracted me to this guy, but I would say it was also an interesting life leading in the Air Force, in the barracks, and bringing up my children, who were also brought up in the discipline of religion and also the military life, because that has an impact. A military life is not just simply confined to the officers.
Yeah.
The families also have to live like a military family. And I would say these are some of the values that perhaps we picked as a family, and perhaps that has shaped me also, that I was able to go through some of the challenging situations and the experiences when I did the Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
Yeah.
Because it needed that kind of toughness.
Yes.
That you can only probably get in the military life. But I'll tell you, I was married to John Serem,
Yes.
who retired as a Major General in the Kenya Defence Force,
Yeah.
serving in the Air Force. But he passed on in the year 2005.
Sorry.
And left me with some very beautiful girls, 4 girls, all of them of age now, and married, and leading their own very interesting, exciting lives.
Yes.
I now am a proud grandmother of 5 boys and 2 girls.
Interesting.
So you can see I am well established as far as grandparenting is concerned. So I have both the soldiers of my children,
Yes.
and I have also a team coming up
Great.
who are my grandchildren that are just around me. And that creates a very interesting achievement in as far as bringing up children is concerned.
Interesting.
I would also say, I think that the success story in life should be based on how much you have contributed to your family.
Yes.
Because you can only give out into the society if you already have a base within yourself. Because you can't be out there serving if your family is in shambles.
Yes.
And I would tell you for now and proudly that I have girls and boys that have successfully brought up as useful and important citizens in this country.
Yeah.
One of my girls just got a job recently with World Bank, and I would say for that kind of a caliber, interview international, and they pick her, it means you have built a resource that is not only useful within the Kenyan market, but it's also attracted internationally. I have a media person. I have a doctor in the house. I have an architect. I have a finance person. I have a mechanical engineer. So literally, I'm not being proud. I'm just saying, I think I did my job well. Really, as a mother, I would say I did a good, fantastic job.
Interesting. And I know you just mentioning that I'm looking at your role at SRC. So that means maybe behind your, I know, behind your back was your family then.
Oh, yes.
So maybe share with us something about your experience at the SRC.
SRC was another life in itself. There are many of my friends who came in and were worried of my security and how I was taking the challenges in SRC.
Yeah.
And believe me, if there was a session that I enjoyed most, it was in SRC. And I think I enjoyed because I kind of became an eagle, like, you know, facing the challenge right on the storm.
Yes.
And it prepared me, built me up. It built my muscles, both my emotions and literally me as a person, my personality, to know that life may not only go the way you want, it may never be smooth, but it's more of how you react.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee we can do anything when we have the passion of achieving it. Yeah. And I think what drove me within SRC experience was more of looking at the 45 million Kenyans and comparing with the small team who are the state officers, who literally thought might want to drive the entire nation at the expense of the majority of the Kenyans. So behind my family, whom I wanted to lay a key foundation, I thought every Kenyan deserved a very, very successful life as a Kenyan. And that meant distributing the resources equally so that we all have a share of the bread and the cake of Kenya.
And that's
very what drove me, common manage.
And Sarah, like, can you remember your worst day at work?
There were many, but probably I'll just pick this key one. Where we were sitting, we were busy in a boardroom. We had just released the salaries and the benefits for the state officers. And that meant including the elected persons, which was, of course, from the president all the way to the MCA. And for us, we had done a job. But when the parliamentarians came in and the first sitting was discussing the remuneration set, not even by SRC, but by this Serem Commission. And we were here sitting in our boardroom, and a few of the feelers coming in said, oh, they're discussing SRC and they're discussing this woman, you know, who has no brains and has slashed our benefits, and whom does she think she is? You know, that for a moment took me back. But thinking through it, I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong that I have done. And while sitting, a number of us were uncomfortable because there was statement that they were going to kind of disband our commission. And I looked at the constitution, I said, you know, we are not answerable to nobody except the people of Kenya and the constitution. And for me, for God himself. So I calmed my committee team, my commissioners, who are also getting a little worried. And I told them we just have to move on with our meeting. Some of them they sneaked out to watch what was going on because it was live on TV.
Oh, that was live on TV.
But I said I have a job to do. I continued with my meeting. And at the end of it all, of course, the parliamentarians thought they had won because they said they decassetted what we had cassetted as the remuneration. But, you know, they forgot one thing, that SRC setting was law in itself because we were given the powers by the constitution. So just cassetting was just to inform the Kenyans. So if you decassette what we have cassetted, you're not removing the power of setting. So all we did was to follow up with a letter to show them this is the settings of SRC and it stands as per the setting and nothing changes. So that's what we did. In the morning, all the entities received our letters because maybe they thought decassetting meant it was no longer law. But we followed up with a letter that they should have they will have to implement as per the setting of the SRC.
Yeah.
So that was just part, but one of the many challenges that we faced. But I
Great.
think it kind of put us on focus.
Yeah.
And all we did was to ensure that we maintained what the Constitution empowered us to do.
In Kenya at the moment, you know, when they are faced by such things, I know there are some people like proxies who are sent maybe to bribe you, give you some money.
Yeah.
And maybe that means you have a very strong spiritual background. Maybe you just talk to us about that.
I think that's what surprised most of the state officers. Because oftentimes, even for the parliamentarians, they came in, and I remember one time them saying, oh, you know, if you gave in to what we're asking, we'll also protect your job.
Yeah.
And I said, I really do not need any protection.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's not like this job is interesting. If you help me to move out of the job, I wouldn't mind. But I don't think I'll do anything less than what I've been asked to do by the Constitution.
Yeah.
And for information, this I made extremely clear.
Yeah.
That I am answerable not only to the earthly leadership,
Yeah.
but I also do this as a delegated authority from God Himself. So I am not bribable, in other words. It didn't matter the challenge, but
Very rare,
I
very
was
rare.
not gonna change the position. Of course, there are things that we had to review,
Yeah.
but it was objectively undertaken.
Yes.
Not because we were being compromised, but we stood as a team, and I consolidated our team so that we believed what we were doing.
Yes.
And so we came out as a unit, not just as the chair alone, but the entire commission really rallied behind what we were doing as SRC.
After that, and then, you know, everyone thought maybe that was the end of you, and then you just landed at the ambassador, the role of the ambassador. What can you say about that and the transition?
I ended up my job in SRC on 15th December, just before Christmas. And I went in a satisfied lady. I was so happy for what I did, for what I achieved. It didn't matter what they will do later. Of course, it pains me that they can perhaps work backwards again. But I think I was a happy person as I walked out.
Yeah.
Mine was, I have done a service, I have done my best, and I had hope.
Where were you when you received the news? Were you in the village?
There's something else I need to talk about,
Yeah.
and that is the Maasai girl child.
Ah, yes.
Sometimes back, and as women ministry leader of New Life Church,
Yeah.
we started off a home in Kajiado.
Ah,
That was basically to address the need of the Maasai girl child.
okay.
Because within the Maasai, they marry off, you're so aware that they marry off very young girls.
Yes.
And sometimes the government rescue these children, or the church also do some rescue mission. And these girls didn't have a place to go.
Yeah.
So we started off a home. And it's been one of my strength renewal areas and engagements, because I do spend quite a bit of time sometimes to visit these children.
Yeah.
So during the July, August, I visited this home.
Yeah.
I am a freelancer. I am back to the community, and I went and literally lived with the children.
Ah,
That is in Kajiado.
interesting.
And I had a few friends that came from US, and we linked up together, and we went to minister to the children. We cleaned up the dorms, we painted the home, we bought some beds, and literally renewed the home. So once that was done, we were coming back from Kajiado, because these friends needed to go back to US.
Yes.
And just as we were driving back, I received a call. That was sometimes in July, end of July, mid-July.
That's
received a
July 2018.
18.
Yes.
I received this call, and it's like it's from State House.
Ah.
And this was a message from State House. And that was from the President himself.
Interesting.
Yes. And the message was, would you like to serve as an ambassador? And for a moment, I was like, am I receiving a call or I am dreaming?
So were you the one driving, or I'm just imagining the step?
I heard a driver. And so
Okay.
I told him to pull aside a bit so that we can communicate. And my response was, yes, sir, I am ready to serve. And whatever you send me and whatever you give me, I am prepared to serve. That was the last of the discussions. And the next thing I saw was I have been appointed as an ambassador. And if you remember at that point, they did not give the designated destinations.
Yes.
They just gave a list of ambassadors,
Yes.
which I was one of. And it's later that I was told, somebody called and said, by the way, you're going to one of the most powerful destinations. I was thinking through because I didn't think I'll go far. When I was told I'll be the ambassador, and my girls were like, well, if you go to Uganda or to Rwanda, this is just very close a destination. You know, one morning I receive a call and I'm told you're heading to China. For a moment I'm like, is that true? I mean, for China, you really need a very strong ambassador.
Yes.
And for a moment, and probably message I keep hearing, which to me is more of a spiritual message than anything, is like, you are being an ambassador in a strong nation.
Yes.
Because God has destined you to go and serve as an ambassador. Not just an ambassador of Kenya, but an ambassador of Jesus Christ himself.
Amen.
So I can assure you, I am heading to China, one of the greatest economies in the world.
Yes.
To serve in the interest of this country.
Yes.
And also to serve in the interest of the kingdom.
Once they're appointed, normally, like, the public don't know what happens until the next time they're back. So I think it's a great initiative by my leader, Kenya, that they have given the leaders an opportunity to highlight what they do while they are there.
Right.
And I know the team is looking forward to how you're going to do this. Just to look at your scorecards on every time, like, you do something, it's being recorded. And I think that would be very great. I don't know what I know you had visited their offices. Well, I don't know what you can say about that. Yes.
I think it's an excellent thing.
Yeah.
On a serious note, there's so much that is being done by many leaders that go unattended.
Yes.
And much of what is being picked out
Yeah.
is the negativity that people see, which kind of overshadows the many beautiful things that Kenyans have witnessed in the past period of time. The president has been busy, and there's so much development that we have seen in this country. On a serious note, we are in a different landscape.
Yeah.
And that has taken efforts, and the men and women of this country that has leaders.
Yes.
So for this, my leader and the scorecard that's coming out, I think I am really supporting that, because then you are able to pick the many activities that are undertaken that may never be seen by anybody else. But we want to bring that to the forefront and to the focus of the Kenyans. I am supporting that.
What exactly do you do in church, and which are the positions that you hold?
I have been a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church for as long as I can remember. My membership is in New Life Church now, where I served as women ministry. I was head deaconess. I became a treasurer at some point. I headed development unit.
Yeah.
And during that period in time, yes, I would say there were quite a bit of achievements that we experienced as a New Life Church. One of it was even the relocation to where New Life is currently, Ngong Avenue, and the construction of the church. I was part of the team that brought that church to where it is currently. So that I would consider is also a key achievement that I would put in my own CV. But that's not important. It's not so much of where they settled and what have you, but I think it's more of preparing people, the Kenyans, to be useful, to live value system life.
Yes.
Because I think much of what we experience now is because we seem to have lost our value system.
Yeah.
So New Life has been one of those that has transformed families.
Yes.
Young people, grew up them into very useful citizens currently. My children grew up in the same church. So I would consider also part of my great family.
Yeah.
But besides that, I serve in a few other institutions. We have the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton. I am a council member.
Yes.
And the council member is critical in the running of the institution, making decisions that kind of help in the running of the institution.
Yeah.
I've been a council member now for the last, I think, 5 years, and still running. I am also a member of the ADRA, which is the Adventist Development Relief Agency.
Yes.
This is an agency or a body that responds to emergencies and moves to also help the society in kind of supporting the needy areas, like when there are emerging issues, be it drought, be it the hurricane areas that we experience. It covers the entire world.
Yeah.
And I'm a board member, the international board member, headquarters being in Maryland.
Interesting.
So we meet like 4 times in a year.
Yeah.
And I have been serving the last close to 10 years.
What exactly is the role of an ambassador?
We operate in an environment that is not isolated. We have various interests across the globe.
Yes.
And so the role of ambassador is to enhance relationships with the country that you have been appointed to serve and the interests of the country that has appointed you. So literally being the representative of the president and the people of Kenya, in this case being in China.
Yes.
So any interests that Kenya has with the country of China, any interest that will enhance our development agenda, that's what I will be championing.
Yes.
And that's the role of an ambassador, to build relations, to maintain those relationships, and to enhance our interests in the country of representation.
What exactly do the youth have in store, especially for your position? What should they look forward to?
Interesting destination as of now. I think every little person, and the youth particularly, are aware of the great interest that we have with China. There are many memorandum of understanding because we want to enhance our business and ensure that we have lots of investment opportunities for the Chinese to come and invest in this country.
Yes.
We don't want them to bring their finished products. My interest is to ensure that we bring more of the manufacturing into this country. What does that translate to us? That there will be more opportunities for employment for our youth. There will be more openings and enhancing the standard of living for those and their environment where these investments will be undertaken.
Yeah.
And so I see a lot of future for our youth in this relationship that we have with China.
Yes.
One key other, and which China has played a very important role, is training.
Yeah.
We have a number of youths currently that have scholarships undertaken by the Chinese government and other private entities that have given opportunities to our children, to our young people. And I think this is very exciting for the young people that I will be linking up as being the ambassador as well to develop and enhance their interests with the government of China and the various investment opportunities. We have currently over 400 investment opportunities that are here based in Kenya.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a question of coming up with that potential. And if anybody has a business case that they would want to partner with the Chinese, China is more than ready.
Yes.
I have so many of them lined up who would want to run business opportunities in Kenya. And I think Chinese are very innovative people.
True, very true.
When you look at most of the investment opportunities that come from China, they have a strong R&D body. There's a lot of research and development. True. And so there's lots of innovation.
Yes.
So I believe we do not have any limitation when it comes to investment opportunities with China.
Yeah, and that is very great. I know in this day and age, everything digital and everything technology is a big thing. And in China, I know there are software developers. And here in Kenya, there are a number of platforms. I know one of them is called My Big Order, which is an order-taking app run by young Kenyans. who are hosting already more than 1,000 businesses. And I know for such kind of technologies, they'll be looking for opportunities, especially when you go to China. Like, how do you see the linkages of technology that is in Kenya and then in China?
Youth of Kenya,
Yeah.
they're very innovative. It's just a question of giving them the platform. And China is fairly developed.
Yes.
I will tell you, even as you sit here, it's very possible for a Chinese to get right to your eye, knowing what you're doing, all these systems, and you know most of them have been manufactured in China.
Yeah.
Pick anything, and it's all manufactured in China. So the systems are also well developed in China, and I think connection between the two would enhance our development and also give even a better opportunity for our youth. So I think that linkage too is very crucial, and
Yeah.
it will be my responsibility to make sure that that connection is there.
And given an opportunity in China,
Yes.
can you continue farming there?
Um,
Have you thought about their cows?
that I can't guarantee. I think I prefer Kenyan farming.
Yeah,
than
maybe you
any
can
other
start
country.
something more sick there. And then
Give me a chance. Watch this.
can you speak some Chinese?
Oh, pair me that a bit. I will be in China for 4 years. I don't want to start it in Kenya. So when you visit me in China,
Yeah.
yes, I'll take you through a bit of what I will have learned in China. For now, let's talk Swahili, English, and let's speak our own vernacular languages. Spare China for China.
Sarah, I think the achievements you've made, especially for, girl child, or strength of a woman, you know, that means a lot. And like she just said it, there are so many things that the elected leaders do, and even the appointed leaders, as you correctly pointed it out, that they do, but it's not mentioned anywhere. Some of them, they spend a lot of money, but no one else. It's not known anywhere. So it will be very interesting, especially to find your profile, because we are going to follow it on a daily basis. Interesting viewers, as we talk about farming, we have to just move out and see what exactly Sarah, the farmer, is. She's just going to share with us a bit more about that, because I believe that's also something she loves so much, and it's been very interesting. Remember to subscribe, to click the subscribe button, just tap it, so that you get tuned always about what the elected leaders are up to and their scorecards.